All right, what is up, everybody? Today, I want to go into a topic that's been coming up a fair bit in a lot of communities and even been coming up with our clients as well. And the topic is that Facebook ads don't work for my e-commerce business anymore. It's something that businesses relied upon for many, many years. Facebook had historically prided themselves off creating the best marketing platform in the world and revolutionizing it, and that's very, very true. And the fact is, a lot of eComm brands were riding the gravy train for many years, basically putting any old ads up on Facebook and being able to generate masses of sales. And a lot of them purely just relying on Facebook for those sales. And now in a new age of privacy and iOS changes with Apple and various other privacy changes, they're seeing things really, really decline. They're seeing their brands really suffer. And I've seen this with people in the market where their sales and the growth of their business has slowed by up to 30, 40, 50%. And so today I really want to go through what's been going on. Are ads still working? And then how can you improve them? How can you actually get the most out of them? Just before I jump into it, my brother and I started an e-commerce brand a few years ago. We're now averaging 500K a month in sales. And as another side service, we actually help eComm brands scale theirs to 100K a month using the lessons and tools that we've actually used. So if you're serious about growing your business, about scaling your business and creating that business that you always wanted to have with passive income, then jump down below, book a time to chat, and let's get underway. All right, jump into this video. So there's three main reasons why your ads aren't working for your e-commerce brand. Number one, there's been too much reliance on the ads in the past. Okay, we've had brands and clients and prospects come to us saying, I have been getting 80% of my sales from Facebook for the past few years, and it's been absolutely flying. There's been no limitations to how far we could scale. Now with things changing, Facebook's completely done a backflip, and I'm getting no results, and therefore making no sales because there was such a heavy reliance on ads. So what I say to this is basically that's your main problem, that you've been relying on one platform for the entire time. And so, inevitably something's going to change in the market that if it's out of your control. Technically, Facebook, Google, all these other platforms could pull the rug from under you at any day. And then what would you do with your business? You'd be left out in the cold, basically. You'd be making no sales. And so looking at this from a strategy perspective, you need to diversify your strategy more so than ever in this day and age. You need to diversify how you're marketing yourself and how you communicate with your audience and get people in the door, either from a first-time perspective or a repeat customer perspective. Okay, so what we're really seeing with increased costs and why people are coming to the conclusion that my Facebook ads aren't working and inevitably pausing their ads is because they're seeing costs increase. So what did significantly change was the ability to target our specific audiences and how the algorithm is actually working. Now, this has probably come under certainly privacy, but the way that I guess the platform has evolved over time, there's so many players and advertisers in the actual space right now and has been. And so inevitably the effectiveness is going to wear off. There's going to be bigger players that come in. That's just what's going to happen, and that's going to happen to the next platform and the next platform. But what you need to do with your Facebook ads right now is not actually rely so heavily on having such a high concentration of your ads, sales coming from your ads. So diversify your strategies out and have a certain level that you stick to week in, week out, month in, month out, that you know is bringing in a certain amount of sales. For example, with our business, with 500K a month in sales, okay, we see Facebook, yes, had declined during the last 12 months in its performance from an ads manager perspective. It had dropped from basically 15x to 10x, which is still a 30% drop in anyone's books, whether it's from 9 to 6 or whatever. And so what we do, we did not change our spend at all. We have kept this going throughout because we know from past experience that if we pull back our spend on one platform, on one thing that's been working well in the past, that will inevitably affect every other platform that's been working well for us. Google, organic, influencers, whatever it may be, any other marketing channel. And so we have kept our spend consistent throughout, and we're still generating absolute growth from the platforms. Of course, our returns, looking at Facebook in a vacuum on its own, aren't as good as what we were getting. But that doesn't mean our overall sales and our business isn't growing because of these specific ads. What we're probably attributing it to is we're actually looking at our cost per purchase, which has gone up a little bit. But where we're looking to recoup things is on the back end. So we pay to acquire that customer once, and then whatever we extract from them down the line is cream on the top. So suddenly, if they purchase again, that cost per purchase has gone in half. If they purchase again, it's gone to thirds. Again, quarters. So you need to have a different perspective about this, but understand the contribution that your ads are actually making, if not in a physical sense, from Facebook Ads Manager to your overall sales. And so that's basically a lesson that we've learned to stay true. Whilst it's the biggest user platform out there, social platform, it's going to be able to deliver results in one form or another. Whether it's that one last touch point that they need to get over the line, whether it's the first touch point that led them to your website and then they saw an influence and then they purchased. You don't know the customer journey straight down to a T. It's not linear anymore. It's very all over the place, and it does contribute to the overall purchasing decision that somebody makes. So that's the first thing. Don't have too much reliance on the ads. Keep doing what you're doing, but have other things that you're doing as well. Number 2 is you don't have a strong enough brand. Honestly, this is like a hard truth, that you haven't built your brand up enough in other areas to actually continue to get sales on the board through your Facebook ads. And so this isn't just about creating, traffic campaigns and awareness campaigns and all that sort of thing. It's not about that in a sense. It's actually building your affinity to your audience. A brand affinity is something that people resonate with. They see you and they're actually loyal to you for a specific reason. And so whilst your ads aren't working is because you haven't got that or built that with your audience. So what you need to do conversely is to start doing that, engaging as your brand, as a real person behind the brand, and start engaging them in a genuine sense. Ask them for the feedback. Ask them what they want to see. Ask them what they need help with to improve your products and actually involve people and have an affinity to you. So building a stronger brand so that you can actually inadvertently make more sales because it's a more useful, valuable product and brand. And again, that comes back to the loyalty and the affinity to you. So a solution to, getting better ads, having stronger ads, is that once they have that connection with you, they see you. They purchase. They comment on your ad. They build traction for you as an advocate. Rather than just, there's another t-shirt that is overpriced. That's what people are thinking. You have to be real with yourself. Okay? And so that's number 2, not a strong enough brand. Look for ways to build this brand out. Look for ways to engage your audience and your customers on a more micro level than what you possibly are giving yourself credit for. Everyone wants to go big, but have a look at it. Engage with that one person. Who are my products right for? And speak to those people. Build your brand as that solution to their specific problems in that specific niche. And so the third thing kind of dovetails onto that, and it's not a big enough customer base. So using ads to build your customer base is definitely a good strategy, but where people are getting burnt is that having the full reliance on it to actually do this. And therefore your upfront costs are way too high, and therefore unaffordable and unattainable. So you're looking at the numbers saying, oh man, that's costing me twice as much to acquire a customer than it did 12 months ago. The average order values have stayed the same and our returns have basically halved. And where it becomes unaffordable, unattainable is that is your only source of driving sales. So you don't have a strong enough customer base. Okay? And so what you need to do here is focus on growing your sales from 1 to 10 per day, not 1 to 100. Right? And so if you focus on just the next sale, getting those sales up incrementally and building your customer base slowly, that is what is going to sustain you and ultimately improve the returns on your actual Facebook ads. Right? So where people are getting this wrong is they're essentially trying to keep getting new customers on, and we just can't do that anymore through our ads. It is actually unaffordable for most businesses to be acquiring more customers. Where your return customer rate is, below, I would say 30%, people are really struggling with ads because they have to keep buying new customers. And we saw an example of this the other day where an old client of mine, they used to have a 5% return customer rate because of their marketing strategy, because of their follow-ups, because of their brand loyalty. And so what we were able to do is essentially double that to 10%, which is getting up there. But that brought their costs way, way down. And they were able to see the bigger picture around acquiring a cost customer once, getting them in the door, and then being able to, obviously upsell them, cross-sell them, and get more revenue from their existing customer base. Building from 1 to 10, not from 1 to 100, or even further. People are thinking way too far in advance, where you just have to focus on your day-to-day and building that up incrementally. So getting a stronger and more customer base over time. None of this sort of flash in a pan stuff where, put out a Facebook ad and you'll get, 100 sales. Gone are those days. That did used to happen. I'll definitely say that. But gone are those days now. And so the fact is that Facebook ads are working. Facebook ads are working, but it's what's underpinning those ads that increases the performance holistically. An example of this is, when we have an influencer post for us. Okay, we will have, a 10x week in our Facebook ads returns. We'll have a look at what's sort of going on there. That's kind of become our baseline now. And then we won't change one thing to do with our ads, not our spend, not our copy, not our creative, not our audiences. And the following week when an influencer posts, they suddenly jump to 15x. Why is that? It's because every platform is working in tandem with another. So what that says to us, because of the attributions, is that people who have seen our ads in the previous week, 7 days, also saw this influencer and inadvertently purchased. So they'd seen us on Facebook, and then they went and saw an influencer, say on Instagram, and purchased. So do you see what I mean there? If they hadn't have seen us on Facebook, would they pay attention to the influencer? If they hadn't have seen the influencer, would they pay attention to our ads? That is a simple, 1 and 2 combo. But imagine this across all platforms: organic, Google, SEO, direct, influencers, PR, podcasts, everything. That's how it's actually working in tandem. That's how you can win at these games. It's not my Facebook ads don't work. It's how can I underpin them to help them increase the performance. And so that's what I would say to you, that you basically need to look at those 3 things. Look at the reliance you have on the ads. Look at the strength of your brand. And look at the strength and number of your customer base. And how can you use these things to improve the performance of Facebook ads. And I guarantee if you look at those things and look at strategies within those silos, your performance of your ads will actually absolutely increase. So look, hope that helps. If you've got any questions, let me know. But I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.